welcome to this session in the Global Skills Marketplace. My name is Max Ehlers. I work for UNESCO UNEVOC, the UNESCO UNEVOC International Centre in Bonn. I'll tell you more about UNEVOC. As this is a fairly small and rather intimate session, I'm wondering whether you could just briefly say, those who are present and who are not presenting, briefly say your name and where you come from so we know better how to present, actually. So if we start with you, maybe just if you say your name and where you come from and who you're representing.
Mr. Hoffman, I'm from Dresden. I'm from the Saxon Education Company for Chemical Applications.
Okay, thank you. Sir?
My name is Peter Ersas. I'm from Switzerland, responsible for the carpentry.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Indra Gelot. I am from India.
Okay.
My name is Juman Sheks. I'm from France Select Center for Research and Qualification.
Okay, thank you very much. So we do have a very, oh, sorry, yes. Very good, okay, thank you. So we'll talk about the development of ICT-based teaching and learning media, and specifically GIZ will present Global Campus 21 as an effective digital tool for online learning. And we'll have examples from 3 countries in Southeast Asia. As I said, a couple of words about the UNESCO UNEVOC Network. We are a unit within UNESCO who's taking care of the issue of technical and vocational education and training, and for that we have as a central tool a network of institutions all over the world. And we're trying to have one institution at least in all UNESCO member states. We have a map here that's trying to represent that. So you see us in Bonn as the International Center, and then there's national centers all over the world. And Jo Fleischle is actually representing one of the 2 German UNEVOC centers. It's called TVET, the UNEVOC Centre TVET for Sustainable Development, which is actually composed of 3 different institutions who got together to take care of this this important issue of making sure that vocational education contributes to sustainable development. And then we have program participants sitting here who are from Laos, Indonesia, and Vietnam, who are participating in this North-South-South activity of GIZ. And that's exactly the kind of networking we are trying to do within the UNEVOC network, to get people together, to share knowledge. The idea is to make sure that if something is done in one country and it works, that countries come together and share, or if something can better be done regionally or in a sub-region, it may be done collaboratively. And our role in the International Center is to actually make sure that the information is disseminated to those interested. And the second role is capacity development and facilitation. So we're trying to develop the capacities of the decision makers and the practitioners. We also have one open community of good practices, which is the e-forum, so everybody can sign up for that. At the moment, there are 3,000 members in this e-forum, so it's, for one, you can sign up so you receive emails on a daily basis, but it's also an online discussion board. And we recently introduced moderated discussion, so we engage an expert who will prepare a background paper and moderates the discussion, so structures the discussion, asks questions, summarizes, and provides a summary report at the end. The last one was on implications of the ICT revolution for TVET. We all know about MOOCs, for example. And our question was, what is happening in our area in vocational education? What are the promises for, say, developing countries, middle-income countries? What are the obstacles? At the very moment, we are having a conference on youth unemployment, which is also very, I think, yeah, you sign up extra. So the e-forum in general is something that is open for all kinds of issues. So you can just go there and ask a question or tell about an observation, and others may get back and respond. Here's one example. And it's very practice-oriented. So the idea is that you get specific information, or it can be announcements for conferences, all kinds of things. So just Google UNEVOC eForum and you'll find more information on it, and you can sign up. The second thing we're developing now is a clearinghouse of promising practices. The idea of that is, and that's open for everybody, again, the results of this database, that there are many things being done all over the world. Let's take the example of ICT applications. How can we use digital learning to improve TVET? And our idea is to collect the examples and make them accessible for others. So you can profit from the lessons learned of one project and look at it in another context. And so we're using the UNEVOC Network to actually collect such practices and then make them available via a database so that everybody has access to it and can contact those people who are implementing those projects. Having said that, I'll give the floor to Johannes Fleischle and the program participants of GIZ, so they can tell us about one such promising practice in our view, which is Global Campus 21. So we'll learn about the promises and maybe also the obstacles or the issues that they're facing in that area. Thank you.
Thank you, Max. Welcome, a warm welcome from my side too. I would like to share this morning, I should say not mine, but our experiences with an ICT tool which is called Global Campus 21, and which is, has a prominent role in our education, in our training field for our participants from Laos, Indonesia, and Vietnam. I would like to share our experiences and lessons learned from the international leadership programs of GIZ UNEVOC Centre in Magdeburg. My presentation should be closely linked to the next presentation of Mr. Hatiando, who is also here, and I apologize for the writing for the mistake in your name. I would like to focus on GIZ as a tool, a learning platform for the implementation of ILTs in the field of TVET, a short overview of what we are doing basically and how we use this tool, how this tool and our work is closely linked to each other, and a concrete outcome out of this will be presented by Mr. Hatiando then in the course of this morning. Before I elaborate on Global Campus 21, let me first explain what we are basically doing, what international leaderships are. These are international leaderships, leadership trainings, ILTs, for TVET professionals from Southeast Asia and many different learning sites worldwide in Germany and in Germany, sorry. ILTs, international leadership trainings, are long-term trainings. means they last for over 1 year. ILTs are a standardized format, separated into several learning sequences. That means we start at a certain place, then it continues in one country, spills over to another country, and then going back to your home countries after a very long period of time. It means basically most of the time after 1 year. Then very important in these ILT, in this International Leadership Training, is that we combine theoretical and practical trainings. That means we have theoretical training with a university as our professional partner, but also internships where our participants can show how this theoretical knowledge can be applied. In my opinion, the most important part of this training is the development of transfer projects. These are projects that are developed in the course of the training and then implemented in the sending institutions after our participants went back home. And we have also intra-regional learning, and this is why we have 3 different countries, participants from 3 different countries here. We have from Vietnam, Indonesia, and Laos. The idea is that we need tools and facilitate via these tools that our participants learn across borders. That's basically the setup of this ILT. Let me also briefly point out the objectives of ILTs, although they might not be of that interest in this context here. One objective is further training measures for TVET instructors and TVET institutions, deepening knowledge about structures, theory of TVETs, increasing knowledge in didactics, and knowledge about media and curricula development. And one of that knowledge about media will be presented then by Mr. Hatiandon. This gives you an overall view on the course of the program. As I pointed out before, we start with a preparatory period in the home country for about 1 month. In this case, this is the ILT, the International Leadership Training, TVET, Climate Change and Green Jobs. We started in the home countries with an English language training program just to better participate in the theoretical training and then in the internships later on. Then we continued with a training period in Korea for about 2 months with our cooperation partner HRD Korea, who is also present here at World Skills. After that, our participants are transferred to Germany for about 6 months of professional expertise training, and that means internships and then professional training in university and higher education, just to acquire different and increasing knowledge in certain fields. After that, our participants, and this is the last period, then are transferred to their home countries, to their respective home countries, and their task is to, as I just mentioned before, to implement their transfer project then in their sending institutions. So this is basically the structure, yeah, of an ILT program. As you can see from this structure of the ILT program and the setup of the whole program, we are in urgent need of tools, of ICT tools to facilitate that. Remember, we have different countries, different institutions, we have a very long period of time, and we have to bring all this, the results of the training, but also the input of the training together. That means from the content management, study materials must be available for a long period of time. The tool must be so flexible that we can exchange materials, presentations, projects very quickly and store also materials and projects. From the regional setup, it is required that all these materials are accessible at any time and that they are available in different operational languages. And we also have to take into consideration the requirements resulting from different learning cultures. Openness to different learning cultures. For example, we have cultures that are very visual learning cultures, so to say. We we are in urgent need of documentation of the learning success, that we can follow the steps and the results step by step. We have to also to provide self-evaluation and self-assessment tools on that platform, and we have also to reflect about collaborative learning situations, because we figured out, and this is one result from the management side, we figured out that our participants are super good networkers, and they are so much interested in sharing knowledge and information. In general, I would say, let me share this, this idea that we got from the ILT programs, from these leadership trainings. Learning in an ILT context appears to be highly interactive. That means people share information working closely together. Learning is also happening in a very rich social context. This is so important because learning is not seen anymore as an individual acquisition of knowledge, but sharing of knowledge in a social context. Learning is interest-driven, and this is what we see from our participants and learn from our participants very much. They are very, very demanding because they are always relating even theoretical knowledge to their practical use, and also to what can be used in their respective countries. Learning contents floats borderlessly between various media, and this puts a great stress on it, and also on the teachers side, because what we learn is not only bound to one medium, but it's really floating among the participants. And this is something that we are trying to catch again and to work with on one learning platform. There's also a seamless movement between local and global, virtual and physical. That means space and time is not that important anymore. Materials, knowledge is available, yeah, for our participants worldwide at any time. Peer-to-peer learning is an important new way of learning in our ILT programs. And learning is not tied, again, to location and time. So we are trying to bring all these things, these requirements for our ILT, for learning in the context of our ILT programs together with two media. Traditional media, that means books, handouts, all PowerPoint presentations, but also digital medias, in particular Global Campus 21, which I will elaborate a little bit later on, and also Sabat Centra. Global Campus 1 is a learning platform with the following characteristics. It's a pool for documentation of study materials. So our participants can upload, our teachers and trainers can upload their materials. But also the results and products of our participants can be uploaded by themselves on that learning platform. We have a wide range of communication tools, including, for example, pinboards and so on. We have mailing tools and instant messaging. This is also related to this learning platform, which is good because we have seen that people interact very much. So providing not only mailing tools, but also instant messaging is quite an important feature. We have also a chat forum for synchrone communication, so where people can, wherever they are, if they are online, chat with each other. We have project planning tools, which are important for the transfer projects of our participants that have to be developed in the course of this training and to be later then implemented in their respective countries. We have glossary functions, FAQ tools, and even link lists, which link the whole platform to the outside world, so to say, to get more information and more interesting insights into their respective fields of training. We can also develop wikis for joint content development. Well, this is an important feature, we thought, but it's not really used very much. Why is this the case? Because our participants start talking to each other, messaging, using other forms of communication instead of wikis, which is, from our side, well, not very much well evaluated because we understand that learning and knowledge acquisition, yeah, is on a certain level. But on the other hand, there is nothing that remains, nothing that we can really use later on then. And we are, from the trainer side, not quite sure if we share the same understanding, for example, for certain concepts. So we would like to promote these wikis more. And we have discussion forums in which our participants can discuss and elaborate on issues and topics that they have learned during their training. Now, how does it look like, this Global Campus 21? It's a learning platform, and this is the opening site with a navigation bar on the left. And you see these pin boards, which are on a prominent position on the front of this page. Let me now, let's have a closer look on the left to the navigation bar. Here, you see the complete structure of our program, which is important because we would like to see our participants making use out of this platform. For example, here you have menu, you have the faculty, list of lecturers, the project management. Everybody who is involved, firstly, in this management is available on this Global Campus 21 platform, and you can directly communicate with the person. Secondly, we have basic documents that are documents like course announcement, the curriculum is there, and also documents from Indonesia, Vietnam, Laos, Korea, and Germany. In this case, that means documents that are of general interest for the contents of this program. We have weekly plans, the contribution of participants, and we have the respective modules also being well shown on this navigation bar, including scripts, lesson plans, internships, institutions, presentations, and so on and so forth. Trying to make this tool a little bit more interesting, we also included a part like pictures. Pictures from training, but also pictures from, well, interactions among our participants themselves. Just mentioned before, you see the forum, the chat forum, FAQ, and also wiki. But here, an important link is to Saba Centra, and Saba Centra is another tool which we use in training. Saba Centra is a virtual classroom, and the characteristics are that we have presentations and discussions in real time, and they are online. It's a very easy tool. You only need a computer, you need web access, and then you can be invited to a virtual classroom session. You can have presentations and discussions. You can also share applications, review documents. You can work on documents real time. And you have a whiteboard tool, which is in so far important because then you can exchange also ideas and documents in written. This is how participants see Saba Centra, the virtual classrooms, with some features built on. They can see if they can speak or not. They have a webcam so we can see each other. We have emoticons for which people, our participants, can bring themselves in and show if they are interested in certain topics or if they are not interested in certain topics. Well, and then you have some other features, like you can adjust the window size to your computer and to your screen and so on and so forth. It is also very clearly shown how to use Saba Centra, this tool. So it's very easy to learn, very easy to understand, and very easy to work with. It doesn't need too much input from our side. And the whiteboard, of course, can be used as a real whiteboard with the possibility to draw and to paint. What what have we learned? What have we learned from using Global Campus and Sabat Centra? What have we learned from that? Also, first of all, and this is important if you're working together with participants from Laos, Indonesia, and Vietnam, that we must solve the infrastructure problem first. Well, that means we have to make sure that our participants, when going back or wherever they are, have at least web access, which is, of course, important. Yeah, otherwise, we cannot really communicate. Then we have to identify authentication to protect participants and also to protect our data. So you need an access, yeah, to log in, and without that access that only the administrator can offer and provide, you cannot really access this global campus or Sabat Centra. This is very much different from other learning platforms like Moodle or others. Yeah? Then what we have learned too is that what we face working together with our Asian participants, that developments, that big changes in learning are underway. And this is something that slowly also pops up in Germany, but which is already very present here in Asia. We call it participatory learning. That means we have a dynamically adaptable resources that we need in order to adapt to these learning habits and learning ideas. We have a high degree of realism in teaching. That means it's required that people really go down to earth, see things, work with documents. Yeah? Not only theories, but also working and also looking at things, for example, pictures or projects. This is an important issue for our participants. Then we have to provide continuously accessible resources. That means resources must be available all the time. This is not only because we have different countries, but this is also because our participants have different working habits, different learning habits. Social interaction and immersion are other important features that we have to provide to make this tool like Global Campus 21 or Sabat Centra acceptable for our participants. It must be highly customizable. Collaboration and instruction must go hand in hand. It's not only that we use this tool to teach and to disseminate knowledge and information, but also to give them a chance to learn from each other. And everything what is available on Global Campus must be ubiquitous. So what we see here, and this is the open question with what I will conclude my presentation, is that digital media like Global Campus and Sabat Centra and traditional media now might not be enough. We see that something different is already appearing, social media, and it will be our task to develop trainings on that international level in exactly this direction, trying to make use out of social media, trying to import and to make use of social media for learning and for learning success. What we will not change and what cannot be changed is we will draw on Global Campus 21 as our learning platform, our basis, so to say, which will be the ground for all information and the storage for your projects and for the future possibilities of learning. But all the others, like all other digital medias, traditional media and social media, will be integrated and clustered around this Global Campus 21. Thank you for sharing these things and these ideas with me. Thank you. And I would like now kindly to introduce Mr. Hardiano, who shows us a very, very specific and concrete example. An outcome, a product out of this training. Well, this training is still ongoing, but there is a concrete idea that he already prepared for us and that he will show to us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Hardianto. Yeah, just Hardianto. Nor one word, and it is very common in Indonesia to have only one word, but sometimes it is difficult to distinguish from one to another. So nowadays, name with only one word is not anymore. Okay, thank you. Okay, back to the presentation. Here, I want to speak about e-learning with Edmodo for teachers in STTT. STTT is one school in Indonesia. This is a vocational school. This school is School of Textile Technology. So it is about textile technology. The student learn about how to make fiber, yarn, clothing, and so on. All about textile. I am one of the participants of ILT Master Trainer, International Leadership Training, Master Trainer in TVET. It is a vocational education training held by GIZ in Magdeburg. So I work in Bandung here. So Bandung is one city next to or near Jakarta, only 3 hours from Jakarta, the capital city of Indonesia. And in this presentation, I want to speak about background, problem, objective of project, brief introduction of features of Edmodo, and the structure of the project. STTT, the background of this project is our school wants to use e-learning in teaching learning activity. But the problem is the teacher has or have a little knowledge about e-learning. So in this project, I want to make a training for all the teacher in our school to know about e-learning and how to use e-learning in the teaching learning activity. So there are many kind of e-learning platform like Moodle or from Gnomio, and here I choose Edmodo. So why Edmodo? Edmodo is very easy to use, and the objective of this transfer project is to give knowledge to the teacher about one of e-learning platform, that is Edmodo, so that the teacher can use the e-learning platform, in this case Edmodo, in their teaching learning activities. The brief feature of Edmodo is it is free. Also it is simple to use. We can only just register from the website, from the Edmodo website, www.edmodo.com. And then we register with our email address. And the look of the platform is similar to social media. So it is like Facebook or like Twitter. Yeah. So when the teacher have Facebook or Twitter, it is the same. The menu is almost the same. How to how to work the platform is like social media. So it is very easy to use. And it is no need of an administrator. And this Edmodo platform consists of creation of polls, assignment features, parent communication. So in this Edmodo platform, the parent can look what the student or their student, what is the assignment, how the learning activity in the e-learning platform. So this is the look of the Edmodo. So we can see here there is a note, so we can post any notes here. Then alert, assignment, so we can send our assignment here. So we can also make a quiz to the students. We can also make a poll to the students. So we can ask, for example, what kind of activity do you like to the students? So the student can answer direct from this platform. And the result will show directly here also. And this is the structure of the project. The first one is planning. So the first one is I have to build a team, a project team, and then make a job description, and then implementation. In the implementation, I have to make a module, a training module. Then I have to select the participants, and then I have to make the training itself. The next process is evaluation. So after making the training, I have to make evaluation to the participants, which is it is good or not good, or what kind of problems do we have in the training, and then I have to make a project report. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, I think we have another couple of minutes left. So are there questions? 5 minutes. Are there questions regarding the presentations? Otherwise, I do have a question, because we just saw Edmodo, which really looked like Facebook to me. One question would be, what's the link between Edmodo and Global Campus? Is there Global Campus 21? Is there any link, or what's happening there? And the broader question is, that was also discussed in our recent e-forum discussion on ICTs and TVET, that a lot of informal learning takes place in open platforms with open resources. So often people don't really bother to go into closed platforms if so much interesting learning material is available all over. In YouTube, you just take a smart cam, make a video of how you repair a certain thing, you upload it, and that information is readily available on YouTube without any logging in and what have you. And I'm wondering, you also mentioned this, that you need to put more social media elements into Global Campus 21. And I'm often wondering whether we're not, whether the learners are faster than the trainers in getting the content they need using their own tools, because it's out there.
There is, of course, a link between Edmodo and Global Campus. Global Campus is much more elaborated. It's a platform that is not that flexible as Edmodo, but it is still flexible, but it's much more elaborated, it's much bigger in size, and you can do much more things with it, so to say, yeah, than with Edmodo. This is the first thing. The second thing, it's protected. There's a security device built in, which means that all data are secure, and also personal data from our participants, which is, as far as I know, not the case with Edmodo, because it's a more open tool. But in principle, of course, you can do similar things, yeah, with Global Campus and with Edmodo. That's the first thing. The second thing is, the second part of your question, or second question was social media. There is a lot of informal, and this is a problem for us, informal learning and informal understanding among our participants. But if it goes to social media like Facebook, and in fact, they start exchanging views with Facebook about asking questions. You get answers via Facebook on certain open questions remaining from the training course. This is a problem for trainers, because we are not sure of what has been understood and what is still open, or maybe in these open discussions, complete new directions develop which were not intended and not delivered during the training. So that means for us it is important to get a feedback from these open discussions that we can still again tie to Global Campus or to Sabat Centra, just to make sure that we share a common understanding, and that this knowledge is not dispersed all over our participants, and everybody in the end, by talking to each other, shares not a similar knowledge or a common knowledge, but shares some very different views, for example, or concepts. And this is something which we have to facilitate, and which we have to be aware of, and which we have to well, let's say, to be the master of that too. So it's very important for us in future to integrate social media, just in order to make sure that it is a learning tool, and there are possibilities to make social media learning tools. Yeah?
I'm told that we have to finish anyway. I think there's more sessions that are around the same issues or similar issues today, and I hope we meet again. There's another session about UNEVOC Network cooperation this afternoon at 1, where we show examples from Brazil, where they're trying to use tablet computers for learning projects, and how in the Philippines they are trying to use e-learning on a national scale, plus an application that's implemented by BIB, Voraus, on teacher education. Thank you very much to all the presenters, and thank you for being here.